Hi everyone, Caroline here. Question for you. Has the sound of your voice changed over the years? Have you noticed that the tone of your voice, the frequency of your voice, the vibration of your voice, have you noticed that it has changed, or is it still the same from many years ago? Do you remember? Has the sound of your voice changed? Has your throat chakra opened and expanded in a very noticeable way to the point where the little voice, the tiny voice that you used to have before is now a big booming vibration? Has your voice changed? You know, this is another observation that I've made. And I feel and I believe that in these times, we really have to observe how we are changing as we operate as these higher dimensional beings in this 3D reality. Okay. So I've been noticing that my voice has changed. And I've noticed that my voice has become very powerful to the point where I notice that the frequency of my voice when I'm operating in my full power and when I am moving in the flow and when I am speaking from my heart, the power in my voice comes out so forcefully to the point where I notice a visceral reaction and a response from even the people who are under the sound of my voice. It's almost like when I'm speaking in my full power, and I'm telling you, sometimes when I speak, I feel that raw power and energy just moving through my voice, and it comes out in a very strong, powerful, firm, authoritative way that most people feel some type of way because they recognize something when I'm speaking. And it is just like so interesting for me to observe. And it doesn't mean that I'm being mean. When I'm speaking in my power, it's almost like I am moving some type of energy, and people feel that energy and they don't want to challenge it. And more often than not, most people respond positively towards the sound of my voice. I have noticed even people who are usually like really, you know what I mean, like kind of strong in the way they come across, when I begin to speak, the room goes silent. And I have noticed it is because of the vibration and the frequency and the tone that comes from my voice. And I'm telling you, it's not a rude tone, but it is a powerful tone. And you know what? Honestly, I've thought about this whole thing because for many years, most of us have had our throat chakras suppressed. People were always kind of telling us to stay quiet, don't speak, don't open up, don't share, keep this inside. If you speak in the power of your voice, people would say that you're loud or you're wild or whatnot. And I even kind of remember people telling me that I had a masculine voice when I was young. People would be like, you speak like a man. The tone of your voice is that of a man. You don't sound like a woman. I remember that conversation now that I'm thinking about this. You know, people always used to say those type of things to me. And so in a way, you kind of start developing this kind of voice that is not really you. But now we are coming out in our true power and we are speaking in our truth and in our power and in our authority. And these days, I don't care. And I will speak powerfully in my truth, in who I am and in that authority that I carry, because this is my tone, this is my frequency, this is my vibe, this is the way that I'm moving forward. There's no more holding back our throat chakras. Man, we've worked on our throat chakras, we've opened them, we are allowing them to expand, we are using them for creation to put forward the sound of expression, the sound of creativity, the sound of telepathic communication. You know what I mean? The sound that moves energies and changes things. So there's absolutely no way that anyone is kind of backing down at this point from being the authentic being that they need to be, because the frequency of our sound, the frequency of our presence is needed at this time on this planet, and nobody is changing things because we have done the work. We have done the work, people. There's no way that we are going back to being dimmed. Nobody's dimming anybody's light. Nobody's going to be dimming my light. I am going to be authentically me, and I don't need approval. You know what I mean? To the degree that I can help it, and to the degree that you guys can also help it, be authentically you. This is the energy that we need to do. All these masks are down. All the approval and all the check marks before you do anything. All those things relating to our chakras, to the extent that they're still functional in your life. I know a lot of people are still talking and dealing with chakras, but whatever. For me, that is an old energy. It is present, but it is being replaced by other things. So to the extent that we are allowing the crystalline being within us to shine forward, let us do it, and let us do it through the sound of our voice. And please let me know if you have noticed that the sound of your voice has become more powerful and more authentic, and if it truly represents the you who is this you at this time. Don't tell me you have that little tiny voice. And that tiny voice is good if it's authentically you. But if it's not you, be in your full power and just present as you are. Be the sound that the world needs to hear at this time. Let me know what you think about this. Are you noticing the sound of your voice? Has it changed? Okay, let me know. Bye, guys. I love you. Bye.